here. Let's go. Okay, so today we're going to learn how to simplify radicals. What is a radical? Okay, a radical is the symbol. The easiest way to explain it is these symbols. Okay, like the square root, the cube root, right? That's what a radical is. So when I say what type of radical, this is a square root, this is a cube root. A root is the same thing as a radical. So those symbols for square root, cube root, fourth root, right? The word root and radical are interchangeable. So I'm going to use them both. Okay? So far, so good? Okay, what do each of the following symbols represent? So this square root of x means I'm looking for two numbers to multiply to x. Two, I should say, of the same numbers. Right? Two of the same numbers to multiply to x. Okay, you know how like every math operation has like an invisible thing? Like if I gave you x right here and I said, okay, what's the number in front of the variable? It's invisible, but what do we know it is? 1. What about if I asked you for the exponent on the x? 1. It's 1. Okay, what if I asked you for what number was being added to the x? 1. No. Added to the x. What's our invisible added? 1. You're saying if it's invisible, I can just assume it's a 1 or a 2?
Yes, it's 0.
It's 0. If I'm saying what's being added to the x, it's like an invisible plus 0 there, right? Every math operation has an invisible number. For roots, it's a 2. The square root does, notice how all the other roots have the little number on the root sign, on the radical sign. But for roots, the invisible number, I can assume that that's a little 2. Okay? So this is really similar, but it's a fourth root. So that means I'm looking for 4 of the same number to multiply to x. This one's a cube root, so 3 of the same number to multiply to x, and then the 100th root would be 100 of the same number. Okay, can someone raise their hand and tell me the here, I'll give you a second to catch up in your writing. Yeah.
So my nose is bleeding right now. Can I go to the bathroom?
Yeah. Okay, so can someone raise their hand? Tyler, Mandy, up here. Can someone raise their hand and tell me what is the difference between those two things? Mandy.
Okay, one of them is it's like cubed. It's like 3 cubed. You know what I'm talking about? No, I mean, you know, the 3 is the, you know, I feel like I'm explaining.
Not an exponent. The 3 is the root or radical.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
And then the 3 on the right-hand side is just a 3.
Okay.
Outside of the, whatever that's called, square root.
Okay, good. So that's the main difference. What Mandy just said is this is a cube root and this one is still a square root, right? So on this one, I'm looking for 3 of the same number to get to 8. And on this one, I'm looking for 2 of the same number to get to 8. And then whatever number that is, I'm going to times it by 3. This one is the cubed root of 8. And this one is 3 times the square root of 8. Okay, the reason I bring that up is for two reasons. One, when you see them on this page, you'll know that they're different. But then two, you got to be really careful the way you write it so that I know, is your little number supposed to be attached to the radical, or is it a number times it in front of it? Okay, so you got to be real careful when you write things. Okay, let's just stop here. Are there any questions so far?